The opening scene of the movie shows the graphical activation of the Omnitrix. Following this, Gwen complains that normal kids spend their vacations at the beach or the mall, just as they were supposed to do that day. However, she and her grandpa Max are tied upside down by a villain named Dr. Animo. Dr. Animo activates his nuclear reactor as he plans to detonate his DNA bomb and destroy the world. Just then, however, Ben breaks in as Heat Blast to interrupt the science class. Dr. Animo then introduces his latest creation, a giant mutant hornet which attacks Ben. Ben manages to free Gwen and Max. The hornet gets trapped after stinging the ground and Ben heads to the reactor. When Animo says Ben cannot shut it in time, Ben decides to shoot it with a blast of heat, which overloads the system and neutralizes the threat. Unfortunately, a siren blares and releases an energy wave which hits Ben. Ben reverts to normal, while Dr. Animo vows to continue with his plan another day, before escaping with the mutant hornet. Max and Gwen run over to check on Ben and they notice the Omnitrix emitting a strange orange color. Ben then tries to turn to Stinkfly to chase Animo, but he unexpectedly transforms into multiple other aliens than gray matter. For this, Ben thinks the Omnitrix hates him sometimes. Gray matter flies a hoverboard to catch up to Animo and sneaks into his vest, but Animo catches him. Animo throws him into a vat while he goes on to crash onto a wall and falls down with his hornet falling in him. Gray matter reverts back into Ben and falls, but Gwen catches him with her book spells. With Animo subdued, Max takes Gwen to the mall like they were supposed to do that day. There, Ben is bored by the shopping, while Gwen shops her favorite clothes. Grandpa Max says it is Gwen's vacation from battling the bad guys and all that. However, just then, the Omnitrix emits a burst of energy, which knocks him and Gwen into a worker. The Tennysons then get thrown out of the mall, which Gwen finds humiliating. They return to their RV to sleep, and Max wishes them a good night, with a furious Gwen hoping to wake up with a new cousin. Later that night, they are woken up by a bright light outside, and they head out to find a giant ship, which lands near them. Ben plans to go hero to meet the intruder, but they recognize it's actually their alien friend, Tetrax. Ben and Gwen are excited to see Tetrax since their last mission defeating 6-6 together. Tetrax says that he has come to Earth because he picked up the self-destruct mode signal from the Omnitrix. This means that the watch will soon destroy itself and possibly the owner. Ben is terrified and they figure out that the watch could have been triggered by the energy blast from Animo's nuclear reactor. Tetrax cannot fix it, but he knows a guy named Azimuth, the rumored creator of the Omnitrix, whom they have to find using the Omnitrix DNA before the Omnitrix self-destructs. Ben has to leave Max and Gwen behind for this, and he says goodbye, finally getting that break from his cousin. Ben is fascinated by the cool features in the ship, and meets the pilot Gluto before the ship takes off. Elsewhere, another villain named Vilgax steals a ship from some aliens and plans to find Ben to revenge against him. Tetrax scans the Omnitrix and traces Azimuth to a prison planet named Inkarsicon. Just then, the alarm goes off indicating an intruder, only to discover that it is Gwen who had snuck in earlier to provide Ben some backup, and they have to go with her. Ben later discovers that Amzuth is going to deactivate the Omnitrix, which will force him to live a normal life. He also has to stop transforming since it triggers the Omnitrix cooldown. They later enter planet Inkarsicon by posing as a garbage ship, and Tetrax gives the humans some alien disguises. When Ben attacks an alien thinking it is Vilgax, he reverts back to human, and the other aliens notice it and discover that he has the Omnitrix. They begin to attack Ben and Gwen, who fight them, while Tetrax also helps them. Just then, a female alien passes by and recognizes the Omnitrix. She then reveals that she is Azimuth, creator of the Omnitrix, who is disappointed it ended up on some human. Ben asks her to fix it, and she agrees provided that he get out of that place. Some other prisoners grab Ben again, but the Omnitrix produces another energy burst which knocks down everyone around. Gluto then brings the ship, and the three manage to get in safely as they fight off the aliens and bring in Azimuth. As Azimuth scans the Omnitrix, she reveals that she is actually not Azimuth himself, but Azimuth's assistant, Myax. Azimuth never trusted her with the abort sequence, so She can't stop the destruction. Myax, however, knows where Azimuth is, so they keep her. Myax and Tetrax also reveal that the Omnitrix explosion will cause an energy ripple that will rip apart the universe. Back at Inkarsicon, Vilgax, who is tracking Ben, picks up 66 and tracks the Omnitrix signal. Meanwhile, Myax fits a device into the Omnitrix to contain its energy outbursts. They later arrive at Xenon, where Azimuth is said to be, and Myax asks Ben to use the Omnitrix as a guide through the asteroid field. However, they are soon attacked by Vilgax, who demands the Omnitrix. Tetrax sends Ben a pod outside, while Vilgax 66 and their aliens infiltrate their ship. Tetrax and Myax head out to detach their ship from Vilgax's tether lines. Vilgax enters the control room and finds it empty, and Gluto tries to fight him off. 66 goes out to attack Tetrax and Myax, but Ben shoots him down. Inside the ship, Gwen heads to the control room and finds Gluto has been destroyed. A bioid finds her there, but just before shooting her, Gluto regenerates and catches the fire instead. Ben then crash lands back into the ship and finds Vilgax waiting for him. Ben tells Vilgax of the self-destruct situation with the Omnitrix, but Vilgax says he will take his chances. However, Tetrax detaches the ship, and Ben opens the hatch, which sends Vilgax out into space. Ben finds Gwen controlling the ship, and she tells him that Gluto sacrificed himself for her, being totally unselfish, something Ben wouldn't understand. The ship then crashes into a rock in Xenon, while Tetrax and Myax enter the control room. Tetrax finds out his pilot died, but they better head out to find Azimuth. They enter Azimuth's compound but are attacked by wild vines. When Gwen gets grabbed by one, Ben activates the Omnitrix to save her, despite warnings from Myax. Ben turns into forearms and runs after Gwen, but she is taken away by the wild vine. Ben blames himself for Gwen's death and believes that his reckless behavior caused all of this. Tetrax then encourages Ben to overlook their mistakes and find Azimuth to prevent the disaster. They arrive at a huge camera which projects a hologram of Azimuth, who asks what Ben is doing with the Omnitrix. Azimuth refuses to shut off the self-destruct, so Ben transforms into Cannonbolt and breaks the door. Inside, Ben finds Azimuth, who is in a huge robot suit. So Cannonbolt destroys the suit and gray matter walks out of the suit, surprising everyone. They ask him to shut it down, but he prefers that it explodes along with the universe. Azimuth also reveals that he didn't create a weapon, but a device for understanding all beings of the universe. Ben defends himself that he also uses the watch for the good of others and not selfishly. Their conversation is, however, interrupted by Vilgax, who is honored to finally meet the creator of the Omnitrix. Vilgax sends 66 and his droids to attack, and Tetrax shields them with his crystals while Ben fights them off with a laser gun. They are then rescued by Gwen and Gluto, who is miraculously alive. Turns out Gluto's species can regenerate, and so he saved Gwen. They then team up against the attackers. When Ben and Myax are cornered, Ben removes the Omnitrix deflection device, where a massive energy blast destroys all of the bioids and knocks Vilgax and 66 away. Meanwhile, Azimuth deactivates the Omnitrix just before its countdown reaches 0, through removing the dial. Vilgax gets up on a droid and says that he will make Azimuth build him a better weapon instead. Tetrax destroys Vilgax's droid, while Ben thinks he is just a plain kid without the Omnitrix, but Gwen encourages him. Soon enough, Azimuth powers back the Omnitrix and Ben is back to business. He immediately transforms into a new, bigger alien which destroys the enemy ships. He also grabs Vilgax and throws him into space. Following this, while Azimuth is improvising a ride, Ben asks him if he would want his Omnitrix back, but he leaves it to him, claiming it's nothing but trouble after all. Azimuth then leaves with his assistant Myax while Gluto rides the rest back home. Later, Tetrax drops Ben and Gwen off on Earth with a new hoverboard and leaves. They are reunited with Grandpa Max, and they plan on going to the mall, just like a normal day. However, they hear a radio bulletin that zombies are attacking the mall, and they prepare for hero time, bringing the thrilling film to an end. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to our channel. I'll be back with another interesting movie recap. Until then, take care.